teams are actually coming up, and it's pretty fun to watch now. So I'm intrigued to see with those 3 teams that are at the top that have a 700% winning percentage or above, with the teams that are in the 30-win club, along with some of the other teams that's in the West with the San Antonio Spurs. They're going to get in their grind and everything like that. So I'm very intrigued to see this parity, and who knows, we'll probably have a champion that none of us would have predicted. And by that means, I'm actually okay with that. This is also another headline going into the All-Star weekend is that the injuries. Man, this season has been packed with injuries. You can start with Paul George, who is actually rumored to come back in March if he is healthy to play, and Larry Bird clearing to play. Anderson Varejao, who is out with Achilles. Brandon Jennings, leg. Kobe Bryant, shoulder. All these guys are out for the season. And to add up to this list, because it's been going around like crazy, Bradley Beal, Blake Griffin, Anthony Davis, Steven Adams, Carmelo Anthony, and who is also Carmelo Anthony, who was thinking about shutting it down after the All-Star weekend for the rest of the season. The rookie class, who was supposed to be the best since 2003, has not been healthy either. Jabari Parker, Julius Randle, Joel Embiid, all of them out for the season. But guess who's not on this list? Yes, he had his little injuries here and there. Mr. Derrick Rose. Mr. Derrick Rose has actually been playing pretty darn well this year. To actually throw some things out, Derrick Rose has played in 43 of the 51 Bulls games. Last 2 seasons, he played in 59 games. So that lets you know that as long as he stay healthy, been monitoring his minutes and kind of how he plays. I know his shooting percentage is down, but he's trying to take care of more of his body, not taking a beating by going to the paint. So you can tell it's a little bit different. Derrick Rose, he's trying to adjust and stay healthy a little bit, which is good because I want to see him in the playoffs. And so here's the Derrick Rose staying healthy. It'll be fun to watch him back in the playoffs again, because you already know the Bulls last year, they would have had Derrick Rose. It would have been a fun thing to see against that Washington Wizards team. Another storyline that you want to keep up is the Oklahoma City Thunder chase down for the playoffs. Kevin Durant this season only played 26 games. Russell Westbrook only played in 39. And they both started the season with violent injuries. Kevin Durant, leads ring MVP, had a broken right foot. And Westbrook had issues with his knee when actually Kevin Durant got back. So it's like these guys cannot stay healthy together. So now that they're healthy together, they've been making a little run. And so now it's because those injuries that they had, and everybody is saying, well, OKC, most experts were predicting that they would not make the playoffs. It would have been very hard for them to make the playoffs. Going to the All-Star break, they're 28-25. They're right behind Phoenix, who is 29-25. Phoenix better keep an eye on that rearview mirror because Oklahoma City is coming, and they're coming very, very, very fast. And the MVP discussion. The MVP discussion that does not include LeBron James or Kevin Durant. If you would have told me that they would not be in this discussion so far for the All-Star break, I would have looked at you like you're pretty crazy. Like, how are you not going to talk about LeBron James and Kevin Durant in the MVP discussion? But the 3 guys that are in the MVP discussion, Anthony Davis, James Harden, Stephen Curry. Let's break them down. Anthony Davis, 24.5 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 2.7 blocks per game. This man is shooting 83% from the free throw line as a big man and 55% from the field. His player efficiency rating is 31.7. Anthony Davis is a guy that does it all, literally does it all for his team. Just make you wonder if he had a little bit more help getting his team making it for the playoffs. They're like the 10th seed right now in the West. This is a guy, the way that Anthony Davis is playing right now, you would love to see this guy in the playoffs. Don't know they're going to make it in the West this year because the West is so competitive, as I mentioned in my prior segment with OKC chasing down Phoenix. Yeah, OKC playing like the way they are with the 2 superstars that they have is not going to be hard to catch. But back on to Anthony Davis. This is a guy who is steadily improving, putting on the body mass, getting strong. You can tell that every year he's adding something to his game. The guy hit a 3-point at the buzzer against 2 guys against Oklahoma City, and I talked about that on a few podcasts ago where the guy's just ridiculous. I mean, I know he's out right now with an injury, but if he gets healthy, he comes back next year, and get ready to get this team to the playoff, because they can definitely make a run for playoffs. They make a couple of pieces to make the right moves. But right now, is he deserves legitimate discussion to be an MVP candidate. Kentucky product is playing pretty darn well. Like I said, just a array of moves from the post. He can take you off the drive very quick enough. Ball handling skills are pretty good for a big man because, as you know, because he grew into his body, he was a point guard before he got in college. Now he grew up and had a growth spurt. Hence, you got Anthony Davis, who's about 6'10", 6'11". Guys, rightfully so discussion. Everybody talk about how he is definitely putting New Orleans on his back. There was a stat I said on my podcast a few episodes ago where off the court, the New Orleans Pelicans are a 24-win team. With him on the court, they're a 44-win team. I tell you how important this guy is to his team. Second guy on this list is James Harden, 27.4 points per game, 6.8 assists per game, 30% 3-point. His shooting percentage from three-point land is 38%. Half of his shots are assisted, and the other half he are creating on his own. And his defense, everybody rat on James Harden for his defense. His defense has improved drastically if you look at the advanced numbers. His defensive plus minus is up to 1.3. Last year was in the negatives, 0.6. The best year he had was a 0.3, and that was his rookie season. And his third year, he had a defensive plus minus of 0.3. So that was the only time he was actually trending positive was his rookie season and his third season that he played for the Thunder. So you gotta give credit to James Harden. James Harden is steadily improving. I think the move that got them Trevor Ariza took a lot of pressure off him, where Trevor Ariza can definitely guard the best guy if needed. But James Harden actually put in the effort and actually are defending on the ball pretty well. So I want to say that he's making the effort to actually defend, but he's still one of the best scorers in the game. And no doubt, man, he is definitely the best shooting guard in the game right now. And he deserves the credit that he's getting. So, yes, he should be in the MVP discussion. And the Rockets, who everybody was projecting, middle of the run team, whatever right now, they're up there contending. They're playing pretty darn well. Dwight Howard is having some injury issues, so he's going to be out for a little bit. So you're hoping they can steer the ship a little bit while James Harden holds it down and Dwight Howard come back and cover him on the defense and be that security blanket on the defensive end. That James Harden, by all means, should definitely be an MVP candidate just because of the improvement he made on the defensive end. And we already know that how effective he is when he is looking to pass too. Like I said, seven assists, looking to pass, and James Harden, who is also a playmaker while he also makes shots. Guys get credit all in the world for being MVP candidate, and rightfully so. You hear his name coming down to the end of the season being MVP candidate, rightfully deserved to be in that discussion. Stephen Curry, who pretty much been the number one guy that everybody's been talking about as MVP candidate. 23 points per game, 7.9 assists per game, 2.2 steals per game. His career best at the moment. Also 39% from 3-point land. Like I said, his whole career he's shooting in the 40% from the 3-point line, which is ridiculous. Pretty solid for Stephen Curry. From the 2-point, he is 55% from the 2-point line, anything within 2 points. And he is 9% from the free throw line, which never in question because this guy is just one of the best pure shooters that we are witnessing right now in the game. His player efficiency rating is 27.4. He's just a shooting machine that is improving his other facets of the game. He's willing to defend now. He's willing to accept that challenge. He's looking for his buddy in Klay Thompson. He has Draymond Green, who is being that option as well. Harrison Barnes is back in the starting lineup. Andrew Bogut's been in and out of the lineup. That's been a little bit inconsistent for them, who helps him on the defensive end. But Stephen Curry is that catalyst that gets you going on that offensive end, and he is creating havoc on the other side. He is a guy that can shoot off the dribble. You give that guy a little bit of space, you let him shoot, it's most likely, it's going in. And his success the Warriors are having right now, that I honestly think they were not going to be in this position. Stephen Curry, in my opinion, he is the MVP up to this season right now. And if he keep playing this way, and if the Golden State Warriors end with that number 1 seed in the West, by all means, he has the right to hold up that trophy to be an MVP candidate. All three of these guys have the right to be in the discussion. Stephen Curry, if he keep producing this way, there's no doubt in my mind that he should be an MVP of this season. And this is funny because we're not even talking about LeBron James and Kevin Durant. I know Kevin Durant has been fortunate with balancing some injuries that he had. LeBron James had a little bit of drama with Cleveland in the beginning. Took a 2-week break and actually had to get his body rest because LeBron, as we've been saying on this podcast plenty of times, he goes from playing from four consecutive NBA finals. So that take a lot on your body. And so you understand why he's probably need to take that rest. And the whole filling process that you had to fill out for Cleveland like he did in Miami. He did the same thing in Cleveland. They made a couple of moves. They've been impressive. But these three guys that we're talking about are definitely going to be that new wave that we'll be discussing on forward about MVP discussion. And it'll be interesting to see where it goes on from here. And do we have somebody else that should come in MVP discussion if it comes on, if the season keep progressing after the All-Star break. So it'll be pretty fun to watch. So those are some of the headlines that was going into the All-Star break to keep an eye on after the All-Star break. But right now it's a celebration. Everybody coming together, having a good time. This is, you relax, get to hang around some of your basketball buddies. And I'm going to take it all in, man. I'm going to enjoy this. I got a couple of my players that represent for the Orlando Magic. I'm going to watch, and I'm going to watch it just as a fan because that's what I'm just glad that it is All-Star weekend, and I get to kind of watch on the events and see what happens and enjoy it because it's just a time for everybody to enjoy themselves that like the sport of basketball, the game of basketball, to really enjoy themselves and watch the All-Star break. So that should do it for the All-Star podcast here. I'm just a solo guy today. My partner Kevin is out with his family, so I figured I'd go ahead and do one for the basketball podcast, but for the All-Star Weekend podcast. But make sure you stay tuned always throughout the week. Me and Kevin be doing a show as well, and we'll try to keep everything up to date with basketball, football, college. Get everything coming around. March is coming around soon because we'll be talking about March Madness. Should be a fun time to discuss that. But make sure you follow the podcast. Go to @BallsNotCourt. You can find me at InTheMinusCP. You can find my partner Kevin Carter at KevinC2415. You can find the Balls Not Court podcast. You can just go to our Podomatic page. Go in your web browser. Just type in InTheMinusCP.podomatic.com. You can also find us on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Windows, Zune, and many other sites as well. As long as you just type in Google, Bing, just type in Balls Not Court Podcast, we're there. You can also do it on Facebook as well. You can type in Balls Not Court Podcast. You'll see me and Kevin, lovely picture there. And you can just like the page, give us more likes, give us some feedback, tell us what you think, have any suggestions, anything you want us to talk about. We're glad to do so. And that should do it for us as well. Also, before I let you go, people of Jacksonville, if you're nearby, if you're in the area, if you want to get your hair cut, anything done, make sure you go to Custom Cuts on the corner of Lim Turner and Dunn Avenue. Mention to my man Chris, you want a nice fade, tell him you listen to the Balls Not Court podcast, $10 on the fade. He'll take care of you. So, and that should do it for us. One, thank you for listening. It was a pleasure. And now I'm finna go ahead and upload this bad boy and enjoy some All-Star Weekend festivities. Ladies and gentlemen, at least if you're here in Florida, it's going to be cold. I know the rest of y'all in the country just laugh at that because it's cold in Florida. Yes, it's going to be cold. But everybody stay warm. Please stay warm and enjoy your weekend and take care. This is Cortez Paul Simon with Boston Court Podcast. You wonderful folks. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.